Water is absolutely crucial to our world. Our bodies are made of 60% water, and water is a key molecule in the chemical reactions that provide humans and other organisms with energy. The brain and the heart are composed of about 73% water. Lungs are about 83% water. Skin contains about 64% water. Muscles and kidneys are about 79%, and even bones are watery at a mere 31%. Water is a vital nutrient to the life of every cell. Here's some examples. First, it acts as a building material. It also regulates our internal body temperature by sweating. The carbohydrates and the proteins that our body use as food are also metabolized and transported by water in the bloodstream. It assists in flushing waste through urination. It acts as a shock absorber for the brain, spinal cord, and fetus. It forms saliva, it lubricates joints, and it does so much more. 71% of the earth is covered by water, which is mostly oceans. The organisms in the ocean produce over 50% of the oxygen we need to breathe. It absorbs 50 times more carbon dioxide than the atmosphere, and they transport heat from the equator to the poles. It plays a significant role in climate and weather patterns as well. Oceans are home to about 228,450 different oceanic species. So, it's so important, but what is it? What is water? Well, it's quite simple. Water is two elements bound together. Those elements are hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen and oxygen, when bound together, form a single molecule, and that molecule is water. It requires two hydrogens and one oxygen. The properties that make water amazing stem from two things. First, how the molecules interact with each other, and second, how they interact with their environment. Let's jump into the phases of matter. All matter exists in what we call phases. The ones that you should really worry about are solid, liquid, and gas. We have terms to describe how matter changes from one phase to another. Let's use water as the example. Solid to liquid is melting. Liquid to gas is vaporization. Gas to liquid, so we're going backwards now, right? Gas to liquid is condensation. Liquid to solid is freezing. Matter doesn't necessarily have to stick to this order. There are other terms that describe going from solid to gas or gas to solid. However, it's out of the scope of this episode. Now that we understand phases of matter and we know what they are, we can start to describe the relationship with temperature. Changes in phases occur along a scale called temperature. There are certain points along that scale that matter changes phases, and it's unique for different matter. There are three main ways to measure temperature. Two of them you should definitely know. The other one, it's okay if you don't. First is Fahrenheit, second is Celsius, and third is Kelvin. The specific temperature points are the same each way, right? So when I talk about a specific temperature point, right, the point at which water goes from liquid to solid is a temperature point. The point at which water goes from liquid to gas, there's a temperature point, right? And if you're going from solid to liquid, that temperature point is the same no matter which way you're going. So what are those temperature points? First, let's talk about the freezing point or the melting point. Fahrenheit is 32 degrees. You've probably known that. Celsius is 0 degrees, and Kelvin is 273 degrees. Boiling point and condensation temperature points. For Fahrenheit, it's 212 degrees. Celsius, it's 100 degrees, and Kelvin, it's 373 degrees. So we now understand that when matter changes phases, it's as a result of change in temperature. How does that apply to water? Winter, in my opinion, is one of the best times to understand or experiment with these concepts. Snow is solid water. It's just a different form of ice. Water becomes ice overnight, right? You can go out and you can water your driveway or water the sidewalk, and in the wintertime, most likely, it's going to freeze overnight, and in the morning you'll have ice. I mean, this is the same as, filling ice cube trays and putting ice in your drink that eventually melts, right? Like, these are all ways that we are experiencing this change in state or change in phase of matter.